Why chosen ones are the black sheep. The hidden spiritual reason. Your family doesn't understand you. Hear me now. If you've ever felt like the black sheep of your family, let me tell you, it's not by accident. I am Most Reverend Benton, and I'm here to speak directly to your spirit today. You weren't meant to blend in, you were designed to stand out. Being misunderstood, isolated, or rejected by your family isn't a punishment. It's preparation. It's the divine separation required for your elevation. Listen carefully. The black sheep of the family is often the brightest light. While others conform to the patterns handed down through generations, you've always felt something stirring inside you, haven't you? That sense that you were called to more, that you couldn't just accept things the way they were. And because of this, you've been misunderstood. They've called you rebellious, strange, or even difficult. But let me tell you something. God doesn't call the conformist. He calls the catalyst. Let me speak to your spirit. The reason your family doesn't understand you is because you were not chosen to walk the same path. You were sent to break the cycles they've accepted. Addiction, poverty, anger, neglect. These generational chains have bound your family for decades, maybe centuries. But hear me now, the chain breaks with you. Listen to me. You see things differently because your purpose requires it. They may see tradition, you see transformation. They may see scarcity, you see abundance. This difference is not a flaw. It is your calling. The very thing that makes you feel like an outsider is what makes you a chosen one. Let me remind you. This path isn't easy. Being the black sheep means walking alone at times. It means being criticized, doubted, and sometimes even mocked. But understand this, the brightest light casts the longest shadow. The more you shine, the more resistance you'll face. But do not shrink. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. You were not called to fit in. You were called to lead. Hear me now. Joseph was the black sheep of his family. His brothers rejected him, threw him into a pit, and sold him into slavery. But even in the pit, God's favor was on him. And from that pit, God elevated him to the palace. Do you hear me? The rejection you faced is not the end of your story. It's the setup for your elevation. Practical insight. Start seeing your difference as your strength. Begin to embrace the isolation as preparation. And remember, the same family that may not understand you now will one day look to you as their source of light and guidance. A final word. If this message resonates with your spirit, declare in the comments,